Welcome to the Boston's Big Four podcast. Cast. New news about music and sports every week, sometimes.
Are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
In the basement.
In the basement. Episode 50 of Boston's Big Podcast. Our first episode of 2020, by the way.
Ooh.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Shouts out.
A lot has happened.
A lot has happened, actually.
It'll be the second episode we've released in 2020.
True.
But first that we've recorded in 2020, so.
Welcome to the new year, folks.
Welcome.
We're in the roaring 20s. We're bringing dancing
We're in the roaring
back.
20s, yes.
Come to the speakeasies.
Come to the speakeasies. How am I
Watching
sounding?
Jimmy G in the
Can you hear me in the headphones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have no snare?
I got no snare in my headphones,
Oh,
but
man.
it's all good.
What, dude, this happened last time. Try a different
Yeah, I
port.
know.
We're going to try a different port.
I think something's good with these headphones, but no, it's fine. I don't want to ruin the beginning of the podcast. We just started.
Better?
All right. Yeah, we're good.
Is it better?
There you
I
go.
actually appreciate that.
Yeah.
Engineering. Do it. STEM. Real talk, though. There's a lot of news going on in Boston
Yeah, we have
sports.
so much to get to. First
First of all,
let's
I'm
get
wearing
to the
all
name of
black.
the episode.
All right, yeah.
I'm wearing
let's
all
start.
black.
Let's start with the. All right. First of all, you're representing Sullivan Tire. Shout out to Sullivan Tire.
Tire. Sponsors,
Okay.
please.
We got a lot of local sponsors in this.
Got some. There's some Bruins rep
So we
on
got
here.
Sullivan Tire. We got Narragansett from Rhode Island. We got Poland Spring from Maine.
Shout out Paul
So
Spring.
we're keeping it local.
And we got Yeti. We're going really hard.
Shout out
Please
to
sponsor
Yeti.
us.
Shout out to
somebody.
Yeti. Are they local? Are they New England? I don't
Dude,
know.
they're
I'm
somewhere.
not sure.
They're somewhere.
They better be here.
But it was a Duncan Keurig
Duncan. Shout out Duncan.
Duncan Keurig pod in there. So shout out Duncan.
There we go.
Shout out Dunks.
All right, so-
we need a sponsor really bad. Anyway,
Yeah.
hit us up.
Pay us.
Sound off in the comments.
We're reaching. No, for real though. There has been lots of news. I'm wearing all black
Yeah.
because
Before we get to the
it's a
news, we
funeral.
have to name the episode.
Yep.
We have to have our little debate here.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we're
So this is episode 50. If you didn't know by now, we name our episodes after athletes. If you didn't know that, you haven't been listening.
pay attention.
Yeah, so I'm thinking episode 50. I'm going Mookie Betts off top. Like that's my gut instinct is Mookie Betts because Mookie Betts won the MVP in 2018, and the Red Sox won the World Series that year. And I just think he's the obvious choice. I also want to give a shout out to Mike Vrabel.
I would say Mike Vrabel
Okay.
There is another.
is who
Yeah.
the episode should be named after.
I
He's got 3 Super Bowl rings.
3 Super Bowl rings.
We wouldn't have a couple of those without him.
gotta
right,
appreciate it.
But he was never the best player on the team. He was probably the second best linebacker after Brewski on those teams. I just look at Mookie Betts. He was the best player on the 2018 Red Sox in the regular season, at least.
He's got a
not in the
bobblehead.
playoffs.
He's killing it.
Yeah,
everyone
and
has a
Vrabel
bobblehead.
No,
showed
only
up
the
when it
best.
mattered. He was big in those Super Bowls.
Okay.
He was a leader.
I just think Mookie overall.
My argument will be a lot better if the Titans had beat the
Well,
Chiefs earlier today.
That's unrelated, though. That's him as a coach. We're talking about him as a Boston athlete.
no, but he would be more relevant in a good sense.
Well, that's true. That's true.
But I would say I'd go with Vrabel.
Okay.
I'm
But
on Team Mookie.
I do understand Mookie.
We got Team Mookie, so it's 2 out of 3.
Team
So
Mookie.
we're
You team Mookie?
See, I didn't want to jump the gun and just like give all my opinions out the gate, but Team Mookie. I needed to let you guys hash it for a second. But I'm also not trying to double team you because I can be swayed. I've said this before. We had the Krejci Devlin debate,
Of
and I
course,
was
yeah.
back and forth a little bit. And
Well, of
see, I'm
course,
not-
my argument for Mookie is his MVP season and the World Series season. And, of course, your rebuttal
But-
to that can be the recent news.
well, we got to get to that. But that aside, does Mookie need to get dragged into things like that just because we can see his raw talent? I mean, he's a talented
Oh,
player,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
I-
Incredibly
It's
I'm-
talented
easy.
player.
It's easy to be an MVP when you know a pitch is coming.
Who knows? That investigation is
You know?
underway. We're going to reserve comment on that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I am. You don't have to, but I'm reserving comment on that. We don't know if the Red Sox 2018 season was tainted. J.D. Martinez the other day seemed pretty confident that it's not. Did you see that interview?
I did not see it, but
J.D.
I
Martinez
saw- I
said that
read a
they're not
couple
going to find
excerpts.
anything, and
Interesting.
he seems pretty confident that they're innocent.
Yeah,
So-
enough palms are getting greased. Yeah, they won't find anything. We've seen this before. But interesting tidbit. This might have been going around the news circuits. You know how we went to London? We got spanked. I've heard that the argument is that is his name Benton? Bertrand.
Beetle Bertrand.
Yeah. Yes, he used the game again. He used the same game against us there and had just like outwitted us. Is what I
Wait, what?
I think
Not Mark Bertrand.
It's dude. This is embarrassing because I don't know the name.
Aaron
But,
Boone?
Nah, it's some other.
Is he a manager or what?
Someone on the Yankees? Who are you talking about?
Someone on
Someone
the
on the
Yankees.
Yankees?
Yeah,
Beltran? Carlos Beltran?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
He had
He was in the
outwitted
front
Cora at the cheating game, is what I'd been told. So it sounds like it might be found just throughout the league. It was rampant. It's one of those types of deals, but not trying to speculate. But yeah.
Hold on. Let's get back to naming the episode
I'm
because
so
we're gonna get
sorry,
into
yeah.
this stuff later.
But we started talking about it. I just had to go
we did
in.
start talking about it, but yeah. So it's episode Mookie Betts by vote. It's 2 out of 3.
That's fair.
But we're gonna give the number 2 spot to Mike Vrabel. Special shout out to Mike Vrabel.
Yep,
All right.
special
He did amazing
shout
things as a coach this year.
Yep.
Beat our
For real.
Patriots and won another game after that. Almost made it to the Super Bowl.
out. Yep.
So
Impressive.
shout out Mike Vrabel. Shout out to Mike Timlin, arguably the best middle reliever in Red Sox history. One of them, at least.
Yep.
You know, he was
Couple
there.
World Series, right?
You know, middle relievers are a dime a dozen. They're a revolving door. They're in and out all the time. He stuck around for a few years. He was a solid middle reliever for us for a few years. So, shout out to Mike Timlin.
Eddie
And,
House.
Shout out to Eddie House.
Yep. Big shout out to Eddie
Big
House.
shout out to Eddie House. Big, huge contributor off the bench. One of the first guys off the bench for the 08 Celtics.
Yep, for sure.
One of the greatest shooters ever. I mean, you got him open for 3. It was money.
Yep.
And he hit some big shots
Beast.
in that. He had some big shots in that comeback game in the finals against the Lakers in Los Angeles, down 24 points.
Yep.
He hit the shot. I think he hit the shot to put us ahead finally. It was that mid-range
And he
jumper.
was short.
And he was short.
He was very short, so shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to short.
Loving the short guys.
Love the
doing
short
it,
guys.
You know?
Hell yeah.
Stan, they're like, it's like us. You know, we can
Yeah.
do that one.
No, I know.
Even
I
though-
always liked this. I always was a big fan of House, Eddie, Dustin Pedroia, Danny Woodhead,
Yeah.
Wes Welker.
I like Dustin Pedroia for a long time, but I don't anymore. As we've talked about
Yeah.
before.
Isaiah Thomas, of course. Shout out
Yeah,
Isaiah Thomas.
IT.
IT. Yeah, Pedroia. Yeah. A lot of people think he should be the next manager. Well, not a lot of people, but I've heard that take. But,
I think a new take, just something fresh. I think maybe, I don't know, Jason Varitek.
Yeah,
Out
that's
of
been
the
talked
blue.
about.
No,
That's been
I-
talked about a lot as well.
I know, yeah.
We're gonna get into all that, but let's start with the Patriots.
Damn, dude, we're gonna take this carousel all the way.
We
back.
got to take the
We gotta
carousel
rip
home.
the band
Because we got to go in order here. We got to go in order.
Yeah.
So
We gotta rip
all
the
right. So
Band-Aid off of
we
the
got through the
Patriots.
naming of the episode. Oh man. Now let's talk about the New England Patriots because this is our first episode since they've been eliminated.
This is why I'm wearing all black, because it's a funeral.
Yeah, it's the funeral.
This is why- it's
Pats
my
are
gimmick
done.
Today.
The Pats have been done. They've been done for a couple weeks now, but we're late.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, we're on
Disappointing.
time. We're always on time.
Yeah, exactly on time.
That's
Right
all
when you
good.
guys were looking for us.
Yeah, exactly. Right when you needed our perspective, you've heard all the ramblings the last couple weeks.
There's been a lot going
So
on, yeah.
what are our thoughts? What are our thoughts about that game against the Titans? I'll start with you, Dave.
They just didn't play like they wanted to win.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I was going to say, I never felt
There was
we
no
were
heart.
strong. Yeah.
Like they didn't care.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously they cared, but like they just didn't have the talent. Like,
I think
they just didn't have the talent. They, and like on the outside, they
Mhm.
needed a receiver.
and they probably knew that. I think everyone knew at a certain point that they didn't have enough to go all the way, and it was like, and that's probably what you saw when you say like there was a lack of effort a little bit, that's probably what that was.
Maybe it wasn't a lack of effort. Maybe that was the wrong words.
Yeah.
But
well, they're definitely like we've seen, and I've said this on here before. We'll see times where the groove is there, and you're like, "Oh, we're gonna get it. We got 2 minutes left. We're gonna score." Like we'll have that moment, and we're gonna grind through it. Doesn't really matter who the other team is, but in that game or just the end of the season, really, I felt like we were just kind of falling apart. Like
this is also our first episode since the Dolphins game too, which was another symbolic loss in the season. I mean, that was a must-win game for us, really, and we got carved up. Our defense got carved up by Ryan Fitzpatrick at the end of that game. I mean, that last drive was so effortless.
Yeah.
It seemed like. And
it was like we checked out. I mean, people were ready.
So basically, what the end of the season comes down to is our offense had issues all year.
Yep.
I mean, we know the situation with Antonio Brown and Josh Gordon, and then there was just issues all year trying to, develop chemistry between Brady and Myers and Harry, whoever it was. And, there was no tight end contribution at all, really.
No, not at all.
And so that was an issue all year. So that obviously was a big issue in the Titans game. You knew that was going to catch up to them eventually. And the defense was getting talked about early in the season as one of the greatest defenses of all time.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of the greatest defenses of all time.
If they performed that way the whole season, they would have been.
Right.
I mean, it just didn't
But,
stay.
People were right to question the level of competition that they faced early in the season. They had a weak schedule.
Yeah,
and it started to show towards the end of the year when they got carved up by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
And Ryan Fitzpatrick, we laugh because he's not a great NFL quarterback, but he's probably better than any of the quarterbacks they faced early in the season. You know what I mean? Like they faced some trash early in the season when they were racking up those ridiculous numbers. So, yeah, the defense wasn't as good as we thought it was, and the offense was pretty much garbage all season.
The defense got ran over.
Right. Derrick Henry.
All over. Not even just by Derrick Henry, but like Joe Mixon.
Oh, yeah.
Derrick Henry's an anomaly, though. He just runs.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
He ran for, another 140 last week. But this week he only
this
ran
week,
for 70.
no. They figured it out.
This week. But we are watching Jimmy G right now, NFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners
Jimmy
are
G
ahead
might be going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Looks like Jimmy G will be going to the Super Bowl.
I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that works for me.
Interesting thing, though. They were interviewing him the other day, and he said that he doesn't really talk to Brady at all. And I don't know. I
He's
just
got
think
everything he needed, took off.
I just think that's interesting. Like, you would think that Brady would be talking to him, giving him advice, like he's going to the Super Bowl or fighting for a Super Bowl.
Well, he's been there
Well,
behind Brady before.
But
not to get
you wonder if there's any animosity there.
Well,
because
part of me wonders if that's
he was trying to take Brady's job at one point and like almost succeeded. So, but whatever.
That's true. I guess I don't see what's always behind the scenes. My personal take on that would have just been Brady's just busy. Like I mean,
Brady's just busy.
Is he really going to reach
Brady
out to like
another
team?
Brady was
You know what I mean?
Fight last night.
So a lot of guys would. A lot of guys
better
would.
You think? I mean, I just personally. I mean, I know like
a lot of guys
saying,
would.
It is competition.
A lot of guys would. Drew Bledsoe would have texted Tom Brady probably. Like he was that type of guy.
Right. I feel that.
Well,
yeah, maybe
they didn't have
Garoppolo
texting back then.
You're right. There may have been some animosity.
Might
Like
have
he's
beeped
feeling
him.
like, hey,
Gotta hit him on the beeper.
Yeah.
He would have called his landline.
I'm sure Garoppolo felt that at any moment he'd be filling Brady's shoes, and Brady was like, "Hey, I'm still here for a while." And that was probably you're probably more correct on that, but I was just I felt like their lives maybe just are not intertwining in any way just because they're not geographically near each other. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there was no doubt that when Garoppolo was here, though, Brady looked at him as competition and kind of a threat to take his job. There's no question about that.
Absolutely, yeah. So,
and
that's all right.
Brady's like ultra competitive, so.
Or is Brady focusing on his family and retirement? Sound off in the comments if you think Brady's retiring this week. We got the over-under. Yeah, no, we're not going to beat that horse, but
We got how many days till he has to decide? I don't know.
Oh, you're right.
while.
There's probably a deadline. I hadn't even considered that.
What, till free agency starts?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a couple weeks after the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough. Everyone. That's all over.
They can talk to the
gossip
coaches
columns.
now. They're signing coaches.
Yeah,
So,
Patriots Joe Judge
mhm.
is going to be the head coach for the Giants. Patriots.
Yeah, I know. That's hilarious. Joe Judge, of all people.
people taking checks.
I mean, it's like they called Gillette Stadium, and the first guy who answered the phone, they hired him.
Yeah,
That's,
dude,
that's
all
pretty
right.
much what it is.
That's gonna go viral. That quote.
Yeah, no, it's random. It's really random. Joe Judge.
Yep.
If
Jason
anyone,
Garrett is.
if you were to ask me like a couple weeks ago if anyone from the Patriots coaching staff was about to become a head coach, I wouldn't have said Joe Judge.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
No.
I would have said maybe
Not on my radar.
McDaniels, but
But he's the head coach, and then I'm pretty sure they hired Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator.
good for Jason Garrett. I'm happy for him getting out of Dallas. That's not a good situation for anybody being the coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, being under Jerry Jones is not somewhere you want to be.
No.
He's not. He's an owner who tries to take control of everything. He tries to control how the coach makes decisions.
Not fair.
Yeah.
You want someone who's just kind of, chill. Maybe like gets massages and stuff like that. That's like, I don't know. You just want someone who wants to hang. That's all.
Yeah,
Like a bro.
Someone who wants to hang with like Gucci Mane and Meek Mill. And
Yeah, cool people, dude.
Yeah.
Cool people. I don't know. Tell me what type of owner you'd like.
So yeah, Pat's season's over. Brady, what are our thoughts on his future? What's Tom Brady?
So
Fast forward to September. It's Patriots opening night. Where is Tom Brady?
I'm totally cool with him being at home, snugging with his family, kissing his kids on the mouth, and all that shit. You know what I mean? I'm fine with it. But at the same time, if he comes back for another season ready to go, if he is ready to go, I'm cool with that. Like, do what you can do as long as you can do it. I'm okay.
What about
with
going to another team? Is that in the picture?
I would definitely. So I can't say I'd be like, no, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. She can do whatever she wants. Like, yeah, I want Brady to start and end with us, but at the same time, I would be fine with it. Like in the end, like he can keep doing his game. Like it's not really. He doesn't have to stay with us. Like he started.
So what's your
elsewhere.
prediction? What's he gonna do?
Personal opinion, I think he's ready. Like I think it's time.
He's back.
That's where it seemed. No, I think he's ready.
Oh, he's
to
done.
retire. I mean, it just sort of. It seems that way. I don't think he. But also knowing Brady, you're right. I don't think he'd end on a high note. I don't think he'd end on a low note like he did this season. So I think he'd want to end on perhaps another Super Bowl win. But like I said, I don't want to see him pull a Favre. I don't want to see him keep trying and just have seasons like this over and over again. So just do something else, That's why I'm like, I would be okay.
Well, he pretty much confirmed in like an Instagram post that he was, or in that
pretty sure,
Instagram post.
I think he's gonna be back.
I think he's back with the Patriots. He pretty much confirmed in an Instagram post that he's gonna be somewhere playing
I'd
football.
say it's almost guaranteed that's what he does. He comes back with the
I think
Patriots,
he comes
but
back to the Pats for one more year.
Yeah. But I would not be surprised in any way if this
they
was
have
his
to
last
load
season.
up with his guys on offense.
Right.
I bet.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if they gave him some help. Like, let's be
needs
honest
help.
here. They haven't given him shit recently.
No.
In recent years. Like, it's been, honestly, ever since Randy Moss and Wes Welker left.
Well, if Antonio
Yeah, and
Brown,
analysts people are saying he needs a
Ever
team
since
around
Moss
him.
and Welker left,
Yeah.
the only good, consistent receiver we've had is Edelman. Dude, that's your guy again.
oh hell yeah, dude!
Wow.
Let's go,
What's his name?
Raheem Mostert.
So I've been wishy-washy, and based on this information, based on this conversation, I'm willing to admit I've been swayed. I think he'll definitely come back, given that the team brings in players he can work with, because it didn't happen this season. So
It hasn't happened
If Antonio
in a
Brown
fucking
wasn't,
decade.
if
Right.
Antonio Brown wasn't such a psychopath, like that would
Yeah.
totally.
That
But
would've
that's
been
the
amazing,
thing.
yeah.
That's the thing, though.
Sometimes you need a psycho.
No, but that's the thing. Is the only time they actually go after a supremely talented guy is when they can get him for nothing because he has issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they got Josh Gordon for nothing. They got Antonio Brown for nothing.
They got Randy Moss for nothing.
For nothing, because those guys were rejects. No one wanted them anymore.
Yeah.
The Randy Moss one worked out. It's the only one that's worked out.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
You know? It's like, they need to go after – they don't want to spend the money, so they don't go after guys like Antonio Brown or Josh Gordon. They don't go after those guys who are talented like that and don't have any issues.
Yeah.
They go after the guys who have issues because they can get them for
they're cheap. Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
It's kind of fucked.
Rolling the dice on, like, can we break this horse?
Right,
You know,
exactly.
like, I mean,
they bring them in hoping they can change them and make them, like, you know, focus on football. Antonio
Patriot
Brown, you
way.
could not change. He was a lost cause.
Yeah.
And he's still doing shit now that is absurd. His agent just dropped him last week because until he gets therapy or something.
Well, I think there is
So-
something to be said about giving like, especially athletes and artists in particular, I'd say, like, giving them kind of room to run. So I bet there's a number of players that get, like, that sort of wiggle room that we just don't hear about because they're reasonable with the league. But then you got people like those huge stars who really are like, I can do anything I want, and you just have to pay for me. And that's crazy. And we can't be dealing with that stuff. I mean,
Right.
it's unreasonable, and
I mean,
obviously the Patriots are...
Can't
Look
have
at
too
Aaron
big of it.
Hernandez. Like,
Yeah.
he was given, from a young age, was given everything he wanted. And the Patriots just added to that. They, you know, they brought him in because of his talent. They knew he had issues. It's like, if you're talented...
And they gave him $40 million.
Yeah.
It's,
for 5
yeah,
years.
that's got to do
Huge
something to you, though, to
contract.
get that amount of money at an age where you're like, wow, if I'm...
He felt untouchable.
Yeah, never have to do
I was
anything
going to
again,
school with
yeah.
his cousin at that time.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy, what was that like?
I
Story
saw.
time.
I met his cousin, or I saw his cousin. I met him a couple times because I was one of the only Patriots fans at school, and I had
And
a.
the FBI is knocking right now. That was fast, dude. I can't believe you're talking about this.
And so I had a Patriots jersey on. I had a Randy Moss jersey on, which is number 81.
Okay.
So he thought it was a Hernandez jersey, and he came up to me, told me he was Hernandez's cousin, and turns out he was. And after the whole like murder accusations and everything, and the trial was going on, I saw him on campus with an Aaron Hernandez jersey on. I'm like, oh shit.
Ride or die.
Yeah, he really is ride or die. So, but yeah, after Hernandez signed that contract for $40 million, that was before all the trouble, obviously. And I saw him a couple weeks after that, and I was like, oh, that's awesome about the contract. And he was like, yeah, he was all pumped up about it. So, yeah, I knew Aaron Hernandez's cousin.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's pretty cool.
We got to get him on here.
Yeah,
That'd
right?
be awesome.
I forget his name. I don't know.
Oh, it's got to be something Hernandez.
Yeah.
I don't
hopefully.
even know if his last name was Hernandez. I don't know.
Well, we're going to find him.
But
Hey, sound off in
yeah.
the comments if you know where to find him.
Sound off.
Sound off.
if you're
Or
him.
just DM.
yeah,
DM.
sound off if you're him.
DM. Yeah, just DM.
Yeah, you.
He went to University of Scranton around 2011, 2012, 13.
Dude, we're blowing up his
Like
spot.
that.
We got to cut this out. We gotta not do this.
He was
Chill,
selling
chill, chill,
weed.
chill,
No,
chill,
I'm just
chill,
kidding.
Chill, 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 chill.
Wow, Jack.
That was rough.
I'm just kidding about the last part. He was not doing that. I don't know. I only met him like a couple times,
Solo.
and it was
Obama.
insane, like to me, that he was Aaron Hernandez's cousin. Because at that time, Aaron Hernandez, like I loved Aaron Hernandez because I didn't know.
Oh, we all did.
Yeah,
Well,
I
he
didn't
was a
know the
beast.
things about him.
and
So I was
Gronk
like,
with
yeah, I was like, oh, your cousin is part of the best tight end duo of all time. Like, you know,
So nasty
yeah.
together.
Oh, it was unbelievable. That, yeah. I mean, no team has been able to duplicate that kind of tight end duo
No.
since then.
No.
Ever, really.
Can't even think of a team that comes close, really.
No.
Gotta keep it close.
I thought we were going to have something with Gronk and Martellus Bennett, but Bennett didn't end up being that great with us.
Yeah, he was all right. He was
all right. He was better with the Bears.
he was serviceable though. He helped us win that
Win the
Super Bowl.
Shout out Marty.
That comeback.
He has a great
man.
podcast, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Martellus Bennett.
Okay.
He also writes children's books and like.
How wholesome. What a good guy.
No, he's the man. He does a lot of cool shit.
What, is he retired? Or does he do that?
He's retired.
Oh, I was going to say. Does he do
Shout
that
out
like
Marty B.
Shout out Marty B.
Yeah.
Shout out Michael B. too, even though he didn't last with us.
Yeah, he went to the Cowboys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They're a couple interesting guys.
Yeah, we've just been feeding other teams stars.
Dude,
Well, they've been feeding us stuff.
Martellus Bennett and Michael Bennett. I just thought of this, but they kind of are similar to Markieff Morris and Marcus Morris.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're both twins, and they're like, personality-wise, like, actually, I don't know if Martellus and Michael are twins.
No, I don't think
I don't think they are, but still, like, personality-wise, they're just
Kinda.
they're kind of crazy, but likable.
Definitely likable. They stand up for themselves too.
Yes. Shout out to all those people.
Big shouts. So,
Big shouts.
Yeah, on to next season. Big hopes.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah, exactly. So do we want to revisit some of the Red Sox situation?
Let's
I
wrap.
want to
Alex
confirm.
Let's wrap up the Patriots thing.
Oh,
Put
I
a
got
bow
you.
on
I'm
it.
sorry. Yeah.
Let's
Go for it.
So basically, we think Brady's coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
The key, obviously, this offseason is getting weapons,
Yes.
strengthening up the defense because it's
Important.
not as good as we thought it was.
Sharpen
Shout
that
out to
blade.
Stephon Gilmore getting
Shout out to
defensive player-
Gilmore.
Defensive Player of the Year.
He was the MVP of the team this year,
Yeah.
for sure.
He got Defensive Player of the Year.
Shout out Stephon Gilmore. Jamie Collins started the year great, kind of fizzled out at the end.
Yeah, he
So
Yeah, he was the homie. I shouldn't fanboy anyone. They do poorly after I fanboy them.
yeah, you definitely jinxed him.
Dude, I gave him too many
You
shout-outs.
really hopped on that bandwagon way too quickly.
I just liked how he left
He
that
was-
line that one time.
Like 3 years ago.
He was on fire
so
though.
cool.
He was on
No,
fire.
he was on
to start the
fire
year.
to
He
start
was,
the
yeah.
year, and then you never even heard about him in the last couple weeks. Like,
No.
where was he on that drive in Miami? You know,
Yeah,
Or
he's
against
just
Miami.
riding off his old
Gassed.
success.
gassed.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, please come back. Do some cardio in the off season. That'd be awesome.
So yeah, Patriots need to reload for next year, and then I don't want to give predictions for next year yet because there's so many things that we need to see.
18-0.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, so that's it for your 2019 Patriots. It was fun, I guess. Not really. First time they lost in the wild card round since 2009. First time. So they had made 8 straight AFC championships until now.
Yep.
And they had made 3 straight Super Bowls, right? Yeah. So
Killing it.
And this year it's gonna be Garoppolo. It looks like
Jimmy G. Yeah, it's pretty much over at this point.
34-7 with 2 minutes left in the third.
Yep. By the time you hear this, the San Francisco 49ers will be your NFC champions, most likely.
Whoa. Man,
We're
now we're just watching
watching-
TV.
Yeah,
Sorry. We gotta not do
sorry.
that. We gotta not do that. I'm so sorry.
We gotta not do that. That was some dead air right there because we were just watching Devontae Adams just dance around.
Yeah, we gotta bring
All
this.
Bring the carousel
bring it
home.
back to life.
Bring the carousel home. All right, so that's it for football. Let's go to baseball.
Yeah, so I just want
On to the next bad thing that's going on.
So I want to correct myself from earlier. It was Carlos Beltran, who apparently Cora's worked with in the past.
Yeah.
And
Carlos
Cora
Beltran.
had
Carlos Beltran, who recently got fired from his new job with the
right.
New York Mets.
Well,
Before
Alex Cora just got fired from the Red Sox.
Yes, he did.
Well,
So,
sorry. Yeah,
we
we
gotta talk
assume
about
people
that.
know that. Yeah. So I guess
Breaking news!
as a result
Not
of
breaking
that,
news,
he had
but-
dropped on Beltran that they had done similar
Yeah.
activity, and we've seen him be removed. So it's just interesting how the league's gonna have to handle this. And I think, and this isn't my own opinion, but I've heard this said that the baseball needs to adapt to the technology because they were using technology to cheat. But like if the pitcher and catcher used their own form of communication electronically, that was like, I mean, unless you had people like truly hacking these systems, like then they'd go. I mean, we can figure out the security of that much deeper than people with eyes all around. It's a 360. Everyone at the ballpark can see what's going on. They've been manually stealing signs for years. So you can eliminate that completely with just like a watch on the pitcher, a watch on the catcher. And I feel like that would be a solution to this, that you can just kind of eliminate the cheating altogether. But then there would be
you can do that stuff just as long as you don't use technology to do it. Like, that's always been something that's happened in the game. Like, if you see it at second base,
signs,
like,
it's like counting cards. Yeah,
you like hit the
people
top
have
of your
always been
helmet
trying
or
to steal signs. That's
exactly.
that's as old as baseball itself. But
like, people are always gonna try and do that. Like, because a pitcher might always have a tendency, whether like it's the slightest little thing, whether their like toe like kicks out just a little bit if they're throwing a different pitch.
Right.
But like, they'll always pick up on something. But if it's on technology, they can watch it back and like see every single thing and break it down in like minutes. They can slow it down, and then they can get that sign right out. So with technology, it's just like another advantage to it. Like,
you're right.
It's gonna happen regardless but you just got to take the technology out of it. That's where technology gets too far into sports. That's why it's a bad thing.
Right.
Well, I guess my point was the way that they develop the signs should be in a form that can't be observed from the outside, because we have so many electronics. Like, they shouldn't be used, but to completely stop it is pretty hard when everyone's been doing it. So it's one of those things. Like, it almost seems that the game needs to adapt. That was, I guess, where I was coming from. That makes sense,
I get what you're saying, but then you'd have to go through the trouble of having like buzzers on every player and have like the signs go over the buzzer. You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
which
is what the Astros are being claimed to have done.
Yeah. So just to, like, for people who didn't see that or don't know exactly what happened, what was it with the Astros? They had a buzzer. They had something under their jerseys.
First, they had
is this
camera.
for?
This is for cheating. The cheating.
Well, we're right. I wasn't for batting advantages or.
Yeah, for hitting advantages.
This is the 2017 Astros who won the World Series.
Yeah, so they had a camera in center field, and it relayed what the pitch was to the dugout, and they'd hit a trash can.
Right. This is.
And
what
Alex Cora was the bench coach.
Right.
And supposedly had a big hand in that. And then the next year, I guess supposedly, the Astros had buzzers on.
Oh, so
and they got
so the buzzers weren't used in 2017.
I think the buzzers were used in 2018. But they might have been used in 2017 too. I'm not sure.
And that's when.
So they probably.
But they used the cans in
2017.
Yeah.
And the video of Altuve was from 2018, where hits the walk off and he's telling everyone not to rip his jersey off. Did you see that?
Yeah, and he won't. Yeah, and he's holding it.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Oh yeah, no, this is like the biggest piece of incriminating evidence.
Because J.J. Redick had it, and it looked like there was a buzzer on.
Josh Redick.
Yeah, Josh Redick.
Oh, they pulled his
J.J. Redick's the basketball player.
Yeah.
It's so funny when that happens. You go back and see the footage, and you can be like, "Oh,
but no. So he hits a walk-off home run, and he gets mobbed at home plate when you hit a walk-off home run. So he's
like holding his.
Yeah, you can see him saying like, don't rip my jersey, don't rip my jersey, and he's like holding his jersey as he's getting mobbed from his teammates. He's holding his jersey like this the whole time, and then he gets interviewed right after that, and they ask him why he did that. They were like, "Oh, why were you telling your teammates not to rip your jersey off?" He said,
I got moobs.
No, he just said he just said last time I did that, my wife. He said last time they did that, my wife got mad or something. That's what he said. Yeah, he said last time they did that, my wife got mad. My wife didn't like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is basically him saying like, I'm too jacked. My wife doesn't want me taking my shirt off in public or something. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what he was saying. But it was just a cover-up, obviously. Like, you could tell he was holding something, like, or trying to cover something.
Right.
And just, like, making sure that his jersey wasn't taken off. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's funny when you see that stuff. I mean, you can kind of look back and see how obvious it is, or like, that's why they were doing that,
Yeah.
There was I guess. Sorry.
No, I was just saying. So that's the stuff that's been proven with the touchdown. That's the stuff that's been proven for the Astros, and now they're on to the Red Sox investigation.
And Alex Cora has already been fired.
Alex Cora has already been fired, but we're not sure yet.
Well, wasn't it almost like they had agreed to part ways? Like, I mean, that's the way they
Usually
worded it.
that's how they put it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but we know what happened. It's
That's
like,
what happens
They're like,
usually
we gotta
when
wipe our
someone's about
hands
to
of
get
this.
fired.
Yeah.
So,
But it's at least a respectful part. They weren't just like hitting him with the hammer.
they still respect him as a person, and the Red Sox
It sounds
ownership.
like they're a little sad about it. I mean, a lot of the players really were tight with Cora.
Yeah, and a lot of the players and ownership probably knew what was going on if there was something going on. So,
I think it's probably I mean,
but
like
we'll
we've
see.
said, it's probably
I'm going
rampant
to reserve
throughout the
judgment
league.
on that because
It probably is.
I think people are just always looking for an edge, and can you really blame them? Part of me says, and I was talking with my family before, I almost feel that all these advantages people try to take with sports, whether it comes to PEDs, because not every player will take PEDs, whether they were available, if they were legal or not. Some players pride themselves on just being all natural. So you almost wonder, like, if those rules weren't in place, would the game just be more interesting? If everyone was allowed the edge, and there were just always ways developing of, like, that's just an old way to do it. We're not stealing signs anymore. We're, like, creating new signs. Or, there's always things going on in the game that are developing. It kind of makes me wonder if that's an element that we should allow to develop and not try to, oust it,
Well, think about it. That's what happens in the NFL with, like, the Rams. What's his name? Sean McVay's always in Goff's headphones, like, what's it called? Like, going through the defense with him as he's at the line of scrimmage. You can tell he's, like, listening to him on the headphones. So, like, technology's, like, at least the NFL allows, like, that stuff for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just taken away. Like, sometimes they may develop laws that are going to make that illegal because they'll find it has some advantage they hadn't thought of before or something. But it just seems like if there's...
that's why video cameras are so...
like, it just... We could all be Iron Man out there using just, like, different suits with all this armor and information being given to you at different times because in the end, we're trying to see it. We're seeing competition, and as that edge is developed,
if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah, I guess cheating becomes, in the way I'm looking at it here, is like it almost becomes a fine line sometimes when you're just looking at advantages of like intel of the other team and you're working on it. But people love to make the
think
point. If
some
you know
of the
a strike's coming, it's not really.
I think some of the stuff that the Patriots have been accused of, I think didn't. It's if you're a fan of a team who lost to the Patriots during a time when they were, accused of recording practices or whatever.
Oh, it definitely feels extra sore, I'm sure. Yeah, that's tough.
But you didn't lose because of whatever, because the Patriots were cheating. Like, I don't know. For some of that stuff, first of all, the Patriots never actually recorded someone's practice. That didn't happen. But for some of that stuff, it's like you probably would have lost the game anyway. Like, especially the Deflategate thing, we beat the Colts 42-7 anyways.
Yeah, that
it's
game had been decided, yeah.
With this baseball thing, if you know what pitch is coming, like, that's a huge advantage. I think that's different.
Yeah.
I think that's a bigger advantage than a lot of the other stuff we talk about with football.
Yeah, and I was rounding back to that because it is sort of like the element of surprise is really gone there because you're working with a pitching machine at that point if you know what you're doing.
Like,
exactly
80% of 80 to 90% of the battle of being a hitter, if you're already a good enough hitter to be in the major leagues, is just knowing what pitch is coming. If you know what pitch is coming, you're gonna smack it. You know what I mean?
Even if the guy can throw 103 miles an hour, if you know if it's a fastball.
If you're a good hitter, you can time it, and it's money. It's like hitting off of a machine.
Right.
So
it seems like it would just be that particular.
So
point
it's messed
is
up.
Different. Yeah.
It's messed up. It definitely is not okay. It's bad for the integrity of the game. All that. But at the same time, people are talking about baseball in the winter, so that's probably a good thing for baseball.
That is a pretty good
Perhaps
thing for
a
baseball.
staged scandal?
Yeah,
is
right.
Alex Cora being paid by the league to take the fall? No, we're not doing this. He but yeah, it's honestly very interesting. Aside from the clear unfairness in knowing the pitch, I do wonder just in other elements where that edge can be developed legally. So with the technology, because I'm sure they're going to incorporate more technology, like some sort of wristband each player has, and it's on like an isolated network that the league is monitoring, so they know no one's tampering with it.
Yeah.
And so things can be transferred that way. But yeah, anyway, that's for the future. But it's interesting to think about.
For sure.
And because these are things that people probably would have been like, that's magic 50 years ago. No one expects things to change, but they do.
So do you guys think that the 2018 Red Sox were using that kind of
probably
cheating?
They could have been using some sort of.
They were found to be using the Apple Watches.
So, that was before.
Oh, okay.
That was 17. Or
all
2017. Right. That was before Alex Cora.
18, dang.
But Steve Pearce having the World Series that he did out of nowhere. JBJ in the ALCS, even though he didn't have a good average, he had the 3-4 biggest hits of that series and won the MVP.
Right. And the unfortunate argument, I think it's a pretty decent argument against, like you were saying, putting an asterisk on that season is I think all those players, their stats dropped the following year when things tightened up. So it is hard. On paper, it is hard to argue. There wasn't a clear advantage.
I mean, Steve Pearce, JBJ and Steve Pearce were your most important hitters in the ALCS and World Series.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, though.
They were on fire. Guys who, I mean, Steve Pearce, what did he do last year? He was hurt most of the year, but it's like he was locked in. It reminded me of Ortiz in 2013, and Ortiz is actually a good hitter. Like, Steve Pearce is an average baseball player. He also had that game at Fenway that year where he hit 3 home runs.
He was dominating.
So, yeah. That's always suspicious when guys like that. It's kind of like the steroid era when guys would go from like hitting 10 home runs a year to they all of a sudden would just hit 50 and be like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Pedro has been, questioned about that obviously, and he's on record as saying that he's proud of having been clean in that era and outperformed a lot of those guys. So
Pedro definitely was never doing any steroids. He was skinny as hell in his prime, and then he got a little chubby towards the end of his career. But he never got like
nothing wrong with 2 C's.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's all good.
But yeah, he sort of reminds me of, I mean, just kind of that. I feel like I bring up the UFC a good amount, but Daniel Cormier from the UFC, he prides himself on being a clean fighter, and he's had title fights against John Jones for where he's lost, and John Jones has had his PED situations, and he
cocaine situations too.
Exactly, yeah, and cocaine sometimes in some cases is a stimulant. Actually, I was looking up earlier. Sorry to round this back, but just on the cheating.
Wait, he did cocaine like as a performance enhancer? He did it before fights?
No, he had done cocaine apparently the weekend before his fight.
Okay.
And he's actually quoted in like one of their press conferences where they're supposed to like talk shit to each other. He's like, "I beat you after a weekend of cocaine," but it like failed his drug test, so the
snitching on himself.
So he had already failed his drug test, so it was like out in the open at that point.
Oh, okay.
So that fight was like canceled, and they've had like several rematches where John Jones has beaten him every time. But there's always been a question. You can look up John Jones. He has all types of issues with.
Yeah, I've heard.
Coming up with PEDs.
Chandler Jones' brother.
Yeah, he is.
Former Patriot. Yep.
But sorry, to round it back to the cocaine PED, I had looked this
Chandler
up.
Jones, who, by the way, smoked K2 one time and showed up at the police station in his underwear. Foxborough police station.
Stay away from that stuff.
Yeah, dude. The Jones family. Come on, reel it in.
They do.
They have
honest
another
to God.
brother too.
Do they?
That's I think
in
he's
the NFL probably.
Yeah, I think he's in the NFL.
They're all athletes. Yeah. So I mean, he is no doubt a natural athlete, but there's so many asterisks on his record. But just to mention that, and sorry, I was talking about the cocaine PED. I looked up this guy. He's a boxer. It's a classic video. Like you had mentioned with the buzzer under the jersey, and you can look back and see like, oh, he didn't want to take his jersey off. That's why. In this classic boxing match, it was Panama Lewis and the Black Bottle. I guess you can look this up. He he was losing this fight decidedly, and it was the last round, and like they're like in the corner, and you can see his manager be like they're giving them like a rack with like bottles on it, and he chooses specifically. They're handing him one bottle. He's like, no, that bottle, and it's this other bottle, and they say that it was like mixed with cocaine because the next round this dude comes back and destroys him, and he wins the fight. And it's like one of those asterisks where they're like he was probably on cocaine, and they think that's what happened. So you can go.
I mean,
like,
it could be a performance enhancer, I guess.
Oh, I mean, if you're gassed in the moment, I'm sure it is.
Oh, hell yeah.
So in a boxing match, so
I bet.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, but that's kind of a shock to your system. Well, they didn't have the science to know that back in the day.
They just knew this will get you going, you know. So, anyways, but it's just funny. Like you were looking back on those videos, and you can see like, oh, that was what was happening.
Yeah.
And people think like, oh, this was just an amazing feat of athleticism, but they just pumped him with coke, or they had buzzers under their jerseys, or something. You know,
like, oh, he didn't want to take his jersey off because his wife didn't like it last time. It's like, yeah. Okay.
So keep an eye out. Technology is really changing the game. It is.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So that's what's going on.
Cheating's not new.
A lot of cheating going on.
Yeah.
A lot of cheating. A lot of Patriots losing. A lot of Celtics and Bruins losing.
A lot of Alex Cora getting fired.
Who
do we think is going to be the next?
Oh, yeah, we got to talk about the manager.
Who do we think is going to be the next
Jason
manager
Veritek.
You think it's going to be Veritek?
I mean,
he's a fan favorite, but honestly,
I don't think
so.
it's I don't think he wants to do it, honestly. I don't think so.
It also seems a little racist because Cora apparently got along very well with the Spanish-speaking teammates, and that's what I've heard. And now everyone wants this white guy? What? Is this just a South Shore thing?
It's just.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding, guys.
South Shore. Yeah, it's racist to want Jason Veritek.
No, Veritek's great, but I feel like he
doesn't want
to.
He doesn't want to do it. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think he's happy with his gig that he has now, which is basically he just like shows up whenever he wants to. And
he enjoys life in Hingham.
What?
He enjoys life in Hingham.
He's been retired, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's actually. I'm pretty sure he's living around here now. So I saw him at the rec center, at the local rec center.
There you go.
I mean,
a few months ago.
Hasn't he? He's been like an advisor to the team. I don't think
he works with the team, but he just like
he's
whenever he wants
role.
to.
Right.
He's like a bench coach, like part-time bench coach, basically.
They're just keeping him on the roster, just for the W2.
He's just there, but I think he likes having that flexibility.
Definitely.
I'm not sure he would want the commitment of being a manager. Like, he's got enough money in the bank. Unless you're really passionate about being a manager, like why would you do that?
Yeah, that is. It's a huge commitment.
Huge commitment.
Yeah, and
that being said, catchers.
He has a family.
Catchers always make the best managers when you talk about former players.
Yeah,
catchers always.
I wouldn't I wouldn't rule him out.
I wouldn't rule him out. I would love to see it.
Yeah,
I would love to see Pedro also.
You know what's funny? I actually had thought about Schilling, but he sort of drove himself.
That would not work out.
Well, if he, not anymore. But if he had stayed sane, I think he.
Yeah.
He could have.
If he had stayed free of
7 years ago.
Could have been. Yeah, he could have been the king of the town. But I mean, I don't know.
Oh, if he had stayed free of controversy, he's like Antonio Brown. He can't stay off the social media, and he can't stop like messing things up for himself.
It was kind of disappointing because he actually had still popped into my head despite those things. So you kind of wish, like, keep it together, folks. That's all I'm saying.
Reel it.
Don't let the celebrity pocket to your head.
Reel it in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's too far deep into like politics, like his opinions on politics and stuff, to ever be a manager. Like that's.
I just thought it'd be an interesting point to bring up because I certainly wouldn't argue that he should be, but just at some point he could have been considered.
Pedro would be fun.
Pedro would be fun.
I heard that come up recently, but
I actually think it would be great. I see Pedro at Fenway every so often. He just like runs
Pedro's
around,
no bullshit. Like he would, like we've questioned the mental toughness of some of the pitching staff the last few years, especially the bullpen. He would put them in their place. He would put them in line. He was a tough ass.
Pedro is a class act. I always liked him.
Yeah, but he was when he was on the mound, he was no bullshit, and he was not someone who was gonna back down from anyone. Like he would definitely put guys in their place in a good way. But he would also be fun. He was also like a fun guy. So
yeah,
I feel like he would be a good manager. I don't know. Once again, I don't know if he'd want to do it. Like It really comes down to who wants to do it.
Exactly.
Which is probably some washed up manager who hasn't, like, ex-manager who hasn't managed in 5 years. It's probably going to be like...
It's
it'll
probably gonna
likely
be
be
a
like a
stopgap.
1-year interim manager, and then
What
we'll
about
figure
Ozzie
it out.
Guillen?
Man, I don't even know.
No, I don't think no.
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 He won a World Series in 2005
No.
with the White Sox. I don't know. He's a crazy bastard, too.
No, I would not like to see him in a Red Sox uniform, being the manager.
Yeah, no, he's actually another kind of controversial guy, too.
That would be like Bobby Valentine.
He said that
all
stuff
over
about
again.
Fidel Castro when he was managing in Miami. He, like, endorsed Fidel Castro or something.
Weird. Yeah, don't do that.
No, he didn't endorse him, but he said he was asked about Fidel Castro, and he said, he was like, I respect him. He's like, because people have wanted that guy dead for years, and he's still alive.
I guess I can see where you'd be coming from with that statement, but it's a weird
No,
thing
it's
to
a-
say.
Yeah,
Especially
that
when
is a
you're the
pretty weird
manager in Miami. Like, just to be that tone deaf, you don't
Yeah,
want that
yeah.
guy managing your team.
Yeah. He was probably
Yeah.
getting paid by Cuba.
Probably.
Weird.
Oh,
Guys,
Aaron
we're-
Rodgers.
we're
Wow.
We got a
not
comeback going
actually
on?
watching TV.
Nah.
We're not watching TV.
Yeah, we can't watch the TV. Sorry.
Packers, 49ers, we're watching the NFC Championship right now.
It's 34-13.
Dang it, I guess we are watching.
49ers.
Yeah. No, as long as we tell them what we're watching,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
we
yeah.
can
People
then
need
we
to
can
know
watch
what's
it.
up.
They understand why, because Jimmy G's in there.
Exactly. If you tell them it's the NFC Championship, they'll understand. They're sports fans, you know.
Right.
They were
Right,
probably
right.
watching Jimmy G too.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy.
So, I'm trying to think who else might. Buck Showalter.
Is Bruce Bochy
Oh, Bruce Bochy. Yeah.
around?
Yeah, he is.
He's available, right?
Yeah, he is available.
Bruce Bochy would be good. Buck Showalter, maybe. Nah,
He's kind of out there.
he's a nut too.
He might be another Bobby Valentine.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
It's really interesting when you look at the series of managers the Red Sox have had in the last 20 years.
Who's really built for Boston? Like I would
And
really
it's
like
like-
Veritek, but I don't know if I'm just getting my hopes up about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I just don't expect it to happen. I would love that. I would love Veritek or Pedro, but I don't expect either of those to happen. Yeah, Bochy would be good.
Bochy would be good for like a year or two. He is getting older though.
Yeah.
Jim Leland's way too
I think an
old.
interim coach would be fine because looking for a long-term coach such short notice is gonna be hard. It's uncommon to be looking for a coach right now. So
Yeah.
Manager.
Spring
I'm sorry. Yeah.
spring training
sport.
starts in like a month.
Yeah. No, I know. It's weird. We're in a unique situation right here, losing our manager a month before pitchers and catchers report. It's like, I don't think
crazy.
anyone expected this to happen. So now it's kind of just, okay, what can we do? Like, who wants to manage our team? You know?
No shit, right?
So I don't know. That's basically what it comes down to. It's like, who's the best guy for the job who actually is going to want to do it on short notice? Like, that's a lot to ask of a guy to say, oh, you know, you're the new manager of this team. All right, head to spring training. Like, let's go. You know, it's like not
Yeah.
much time to prepare, but
You got a month. Here we go.
yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It will.
It's kind of fun though, you know, see what will happen. Like it could be good in the long term. The Red Sox have, as great as they've been winning 4 World Series in the last 20 years, they've been so inconsistent, so many like high highs and low lows that it's just like been exhausting. So if they can find something long term, like a good solid manager, that'd be nice. And if he doesn't cheat, that'd be also a bonus.
Yeah, that would be
That'd be ideal.
Yeah.
especially after the past couple of years, apparently.
So
Either way, I'll take a World Series though. I don't know.
yeah, rings are cool.
I'll take a ring.
Yeah, why not?
That would be
Yeah,
nice.
I would definitely take a ring.
I'll definitely take a ring for the Celtics. By the way,
Yeah, Celtics are
because
cup for the
they
Browns.
haven't
I've
had
been
one
saying
since 2008.
it.
And
They're due. Yeah, they're they're blued right now. They're blued.
They have not been playing well.
No, they have not. They
Celtics. You're wearing
Yep,
the hat.
I am
I like
wearing
it.
the hat.
So the Celtics started off 25-8, and then they've gone
You're doing-
2-6 since then. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't played very well. It started with the Spurs when they played the Spurs.
Yeah, so they
That
went
was-
through a stretch. I mean, they're losing to teams that they should beat. That's the thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
They lost to the Wizards. They lost to what was it? The Bulls? Or no, they beat
lost
the
to the
Bulls.
Sixers
They
without
lost to the
Embiid.
Sixers without Embiid. They've lost to just a lot of bad teams, and
Maybe they just indulged over the holidays. Maybe it's just a slump.
it's
They
definitely a
started
slump.
strong. They
It's
started strong.
yeah,
so,
they
I
did.
mean,
I mean, to go start 25-8 and then go 2-6 over an 8-game span is
Yeah.
like
I think it's
It's
a
weird.
mentality thing, not
it's a letdown.
that's a huge letdown. And Brad Stevens, obviously, there's questions about his abilities. Starting last year, questions about his abilities to coach in the NBA, to manage the egos and the personalities, and whether he's more of just an X and O's basketball genius and not so much of a doesn't really have the psychology part down that you kind of have to have to be an NBA coach. You kind of have to be able to be a psychologist as well as a basketball genius. You know what I mean?
right.
Yep.
You know how to get your players in the right mindset.
Right.
When they're vibing, they're vibing. You know?
So I question, I guess, his ability to do that, and also his kind of stubbornness in playing Gordon Hayward.
He's very set in his ways.
He's very set in his ways. His stubbornness to not bench Gordon Hayward.
Right.
Speaking of Gordon Hayward, he needs to go because he's still a valuable piece, but he's not valuable to this team because we have too many players at his position.
The boy's a glass cannon. He's a glass cannon.
You gotta head out.
Speaking of going, I gotta get going.
All right, this guy's got to go.
Paperwork.
But I do hope the Celtics turn it around.
Yes.
Gordon Hayward just hasn't really been he hasn't been playing up to par, and I do think he needs to go.
Yeah. There's they're too overcrowded at that position, and they need a big man.
Yes, they do.
Instead of Gordon Hayward.
Yes, they need a productive big man.
Yeah.
Someone who can gather rebounds. Play
Andre
D
Drummond,
down low.
perhaps.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
But I gotta head out. Peace, fellas.
All right.
All right, man. Be
All right.
safe out
See
there.
you guys soon. Peace.
Yeah, you.
Peace. Catch you on the flip.
Episode Mookie Betts.
Episode Mookie.
Featuring Mike Vrabel.
Featuring Mike Vrabel. I think I got everything. All right, boys.
Peace.
See you soon.
Peace, y'all.
Yeah, you.
Who?
You. Yeah, so your Boston Celtics have gone in the last week. They've gone from the third best team in the NBA to I think ninth best now in 1 week, just because they've just been sucking, man. Losing to bad teams, losing to good teams, losing to everybody.
Not what we want.
No, we want at all. So
I gotta wonder if they're just like taking
Marcus Smart
taking a
last
break.
night, though, even though they lost, he set the team franchise record for most 3-pointers in a game.
Okay.
Which is actually probably
Future
not.
Steph Curry.
No, see, that's the thing. He attempted 20-something threes, 21, 22 threes in the game,
That was a percentage.
which is more than Steph Curry has ever attempted in his career. And Steph Curry is
In one
actually
game?
yeah.
Oh, really?
And
Well, how many of those did he get?
no, well, more than Steph Curry has ever attempted in a game in his career.
Right.
And
And what was the percentage completed?
no, it was a good percentage. He shot like 50%, which is
Oh,
a
okay.
great percentage from three. But the bottom line is Marcus Smart, his career percentage is not very good. Nowhere near Steph Curry's. So
Gotcha.
he shouldn't be shooting that many threes. The fact that he made
Well,
that many,
pass a couple times. That sounds like a lot.
the fact that and they lost the game. So what does it really matter? And the fact that he made that many is probably not a good thing because when he has a good game like that, his confidence goes through the roof. And
He wants to be a star.
So now he's just going to start launching threes. He'll probably go 1 for 15 from 3 next game. So, yeah. But shout out Marcus Smart, though. That's my guy.
Yeah.
I do like Marcus Smart. He's the man. We got to get him on the podcast at some point, even though I just bashed him.
Sound off in the comments if you can get him on. We'd love to.
I met him at a Margaritas once.
Oh, so you can get him on. My bad.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get any contact info from him, but I do have a picture with him, so I can always just send him that and be like, hey, remember the time we hung out at Margaritas?
100%, dude. You were the coolest homie.
Yeah.
And then that'll be it.
Gang.
Gang. Gang, brother, gang.
So, yeah, hopefully the Celtics can turn it around because obviously nothing going on with the Pats right now.
Exactly. Yeah. We need a couple. We need some rings this season.
And we just, it's a cold winter without the Pats playing in the playoffs.
Yeah, help us out.
So if the B's and C's could help us out, that would be nice. The Bruins, they've been disappointing. I mean, their record overall is pretty good when you look at the standings, but the problem with the record is they have 12 losses in overtime / shootouts, which is way more than any other team. They're 3-12 when games go to overtime and shootouts.
Mm-hmm. And we also had the terrible mishap with Marchand.
With Marchand, I mean, that pretty much just sums up the way they've been in shootouts. I mean,
that was rough.
And earlier today, they had a 3-0 lead against Pittsburgh and blew that, lost the game 4-3, I believe. And
that's disappointing.
So, yeah, they're struggling. Celts are struggling. Red Sox don't have a manager. Patriots are done, and it's, yeah.
But just on one high note here.
I'm trying to find the silver lining here.
The silver lining is if you haven't been to the Garden this season, check out the Rafters section. Don't be fooled by the name. The Rafters is not cheap seats. It's actually a level above the top balcony. And it's basically like you have the glass view, so you're pretty much looking down straight on the whole thing. I'd say it's perfect for hockey. I don't know how it'd be for basketball. I know you kind of want to be a little closer for basketball.
I could mess with that. I can watch basketball from far away. I've been in the last row.
Every area, concessions are 2 feet behind you, so it's
Damn.
it's not like crazy lines, bathrooms. Everything's just a little better. So you get your own elevator straight up there. Check out the Rafters.
Check out the Rafters.
Yeah, it's a new section. So.
And also, when you're in the Garden, check out the actual Rafters, and you'll see a bunch of banners up there.
Right. You're actually up with the banners in the Rafters. So, yeah, it's very fun.
There you go. So I always recommend looking up at the Rafters when you go into the Garden because that's where it's at. That's where the history's at right there.
You can see how prolific our city has been.
Exactly. A lot of banners up there.
Exactly.
So many banners. They're going to run out of room at some point.
And that's the silver lining, honestly. Every season there's ups and downs, but we'll always come out on top because we're Boston.
Yeah.
Boston's Big Four.
Boston's Big Four. That's right.
Signing out. No,
Boston.
I'm just kidding. Should I just mic drop right now? Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, that's bad for the mics.
Is that it? No.
Let's talk about that for a second. Mic dropping.
Yeah. Mic dropping. Are you allowed to drop mics?
Disrespectful.
Fun fact. No,
is that unless it's your microphone that you're dropping?
A Shure SM58. I've not messed with them too much. So the two main microphones you got out there. This is just a lesson for anyone who's listening. Shure SM58 / Sennheiser. Those are the two. Those are the two that two brands people use. The SM58 model, they say, can be dropped, thrown, beaten. I got one in my bag that has just all dents in the top. Works perfectly fine.
Dents?
Dents in it, yeah. I'll show you.
Dude,
it's over here.
We don't like dents on this podcast.
Yeah, no, full of dents.
Yeah,
shout out Chris D'Elia.
We're dent-free over here.
No, but yeah, they say the only thing you can't do is get them wet. So I think you can mic drop pretty safely. I wouldn't do it all the time. I wouldn't throw the mic, but I think they can be dropped pretty safely.
Okay.
Just a fun, quick lesson for everybody. Sound off in the comments if I'm wrong. But
So,
I'm pretty sure it's
if
true.
you want a mic drop, do it.
Yeah, we'll do a mic drop.
It'll be fine. I'm not going to do it right now.
That was too loud.
I won't mic drop unless I say something that's deserving of a mic drop.
Oh, I thought Boston's Big Four after talking about our awesome teams was cool.
Yeah, that's you.
Sorry.
That was your thing. You can drop
cool,
the mic.
cool. So I was justified. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
you
thought
were
I was-
no, you were justified. I can't drop the mic in that situation.
Alright. Well, I appreciate that. We'll figure it out though. We got mic drops galore, dude. We got so many opportunities.
Dude, I'll be dropping mini mics in the future.
But yeah, if you're tuning in, I don't know exactly when we'll drop this, but it'll definitely be January, and I want you guys to know we got many guests coming.
We got many
this
guests
year,
coming.
So this is gonna be a fun
Big
year.
shout out to all the guests who have been here. Recently in the last year plus, it's been a lot. We've had a good amount of guests. So big shout out to all them. 2020, we're doing it even bigger. We're doubling our guest
It's
list.
only growing. Yeah, we're doing guests.
Whatever our amount of guests that we have so far, we're doubling that this year.
Easily, yeah. There's just so much going on.
So
in the
much
Boston
going
area,
on.
So
So
we're
much
trying
going
to-
on.
trying
A
to
lot of
make
new
content.
music out. Shout out to Woke. Let's Have Been Oblivious. Their new album is out right now. Brandy Blaze's new album is out. Hero and 16-Bit Spit.
Right.
New
And
mixtape out.
that was spoken of on this podcast
Yes.
a while back.
A while
so
back.
It's out now.
He told
Check
you about it.
out.
You heard it here first, and now it's out.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's out. What else is? Oh, God released a new album. Who else? Some other Boston things going on. Oh, Pomegranate, new single.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's called The Safe. Look that up. All platforms.
I like it.
What else? I don't know. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, just special
Follow
shout
along.
out Alec Mack and War on Alexandria. Just special shout out.
Alec McGilvery, Pretty Things. That's on one of my 200 best songs of 2019 list.
Fantastic. Also,
Look
Bad Day to Be a Bud Light hit 1 million streams recently.
Hit 1 million
so
streams recently.
Check that out. That's also
Um,
Alec McGilvery. Check him out.
Hell yeah. Who else? Oh, new Luke Barr's album dropping tomorrow.
Okay.
In
Luke
2 days,
Barnes.
actually. Not tomorrow, in 2 days. The 21st. So, maybe like the day you hear this, or, around that time. But
Yeah, it's coming out.
it's coming out, 21st. Luke Bar's new album. I'm excited for that.
Super exciting.
Van Buren. Shout out to Van Buren.
Big shouts. There's a lot going on, a lot coming.
A lot of good things.
Please keep your ears up, keep your heads up. It's
Also,
gonna be
check
fun.
out our last episode with Seat 4 if you haven't yet.
Oh,
please do
100%.
that.
C4, Jules Giuliano. If you have any
Yes.
questions about production,
Mm-hmm.
performing,
Good things
you
on
want to
it.
hear.
We
some
can't
good
forget
music.
we can't forget to keep promoting our old episodes. You know what I mean?
Right. We got to figure out that stuff in the YouTube thing. where
It's
you can
like-
point to your old episodes.
It's
That'd be
like
fun.
once we do a new one, the old ones just disappear. It's like no, we got to keep promoting all of them.
Hey,
Check
thanks
out
for
that
enjoying
one.
That episode.
Check out our
this
our episode with Hero. We just mentioned Hero. We did one with him recently, or not recently, like a little while ago.
One of our
but
first video episodes.
one of our
actually.
first video episodes. Our first video guest episode was with
Right.
Hero. Yes. So yeah, check that episode out. And we have one with
Link in
Protege, Sean Mikes. I mean, we've been doing it.
bio. SOP Liddy Boy.
SOP Liddy Boy, Laurent, aka Laurent Joseph.
A.K.A. Laurent Joseph.
Check
out his book.
Who else? I don't know. So many
We've
people.
had a few. I mean, Casso.
Casso.
The big one. Everyone's seen
Casso.
Casso. though.
Yeah, everyone knows Casso. Oh, also check out our video that we did at his show. We're gonna do more shit like that this year too. We got to do more shit like that.
And if you got long drives, don't forget to check all the audio episodes back on Anchor.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. Don't forget that this is more than just a YouTube video thing. If you don't have time to watch the video, like Owen said, if you're on a drive, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Stitcher, we're on Anchor, we're on
Yeah, rip that
Last
MP3.
FM, we're on Napster, we're on MySpace.
Dang, are we on Napster?
I'm just kidding.
Whoa. Whoa, man. Is Napster a thing?
I don't know. Remember when there was a huge controversy with Napster?
Well, yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, when there was all
Early
free music.
2000s. Yeah, all the free music.
But it was a huge gray area. They figured it out quick. So,
Remember LimeWire?
yeah. I actually remember FrostWire. That was
Mhm.
the thing I used.
I remember FrostWire.
Yeah.
FrostWire was good.
But anyways,
It's,
big
definitely-
music things. Big music
Yeah.
things coming. Music's
Big
just free.
music things.
Everything's just free now. You have to not pay. Disney Plus is free.
Disney Plus is free.
It's not.
It's not free.
It's not free.
I wouldn't know. I'm
You
not.
have to pay big bucks for
Skrelly
Disney
bucks?
Plus.
Skrelly
Yeah.
bucks?
You got to pay Skrelly bucks. It wouldn't be an episode if I didn't say
Damn.
Skrelly bucks. Dude, we got to cut it together. We got to do a super cut of me saying sound off in the comments and
Skrelly
saying
bucks.
Skrelly bucks.
And dude, we got a lot of things that could catch on.
Cut me up.
Cut me up.
Cut me up.
Chop it up.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, though, folks. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I'll do that shit.
This will be fun.
Yes. I feel like there was other music things I wanted to mention, but whatever.
We'll post about it on the page. It'll come up.
It'll come up. Yeah,
We
follow
got episodes coming out soon.
BB4 Music on Instagram. Oh, also, Boston's Big Four on Instagram. In case you were wondering why I didn't post for like 10 days.
Were you in jail? Were
Yeah,
you in Instagram
we
jail?
were. Locked out.
What happened?
I don't even know.
They didn't tell you?
No, I don't know what happened. Suspicious activity, apparently.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Suspicious activity. So what happened was,
What? Suspicious activity.
I don't know what that means.
You're my business partner.
I was not doing anything suspicious, I
We're gonna have to
promise
clip
you.
this out.
Yeah,
dude.
so-
I'm gonna have to clip this out. I want people to know that I'm suspicious of you officially now. If Instagram's suspicious of you, you're suspicious enough for the Zuck, dude?
Zuck.
Yeah, man, I trust Zuck.
I don't know. I think it has something to do with that virus that happened like a few weeks ago, remember? Where I sent all those messages out by accident.
Right. Well, you didn't.
I didn't.
But, yeah. Oh, man. That's scary, actually. That could be true. Yeah, don't get hacked. That's important, too.
Yeah, so
Change
I think
your passwords
I
regularly.
think that has something to do with it. But anyways, the email that I originally used to set up that Instagram was a school email that I no longer have. So I had to get in contact with the school, get access to that email in order to activate the Instagram again. So we were down for a few days, but we're back up now.
We're back up. In case you were wondering,
In case you were wondering.
we're going to have to clip that one out for sure.
No,
People
I
know.
think that people needed to know.
Yeah, but no, I mean, we'll clip it so people can see it.
Oh, yeah. The public needed to know
Of
that for
course.
sure. But shout out to all the Instagram followers. Keep spreading the news.
Big shouts Instagram, big shouts Facebook, big things Mon. We out here, Boston's Big Four.
Yes.
Skirt.
We signing out?
I think so. Are we? Do we have anything else? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I guess, I don't know. I just so sad to see it go. But yeah,
Yeah, dude, I really want this to happen forever. Also,
but it's all right. We'll
Boston's
see you
Big
guys
Four.
next time.
We'll see you guys soon.
We will have a guest next time, actually.
Next guest is a surprise guest. Sound off in the
Surprise
comments.
guest.
If you know who the guest is, sound off in the comments.
Hey, sound off in the comments if you got Skrelly bucks.
Yeah, if you got Skrelly Bucks, sound off. Just sound off.
Just,
Hey,
yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Drake, sound off in the comments.
Hey, what's this video from? You
What-
got this. Come on, hit us up.
What is that?
Dude, you know the video.
I don't know.
You don't know this video? Oh my god, sound off in the comments with the link to this video. You know it.
What
I know
is
you
that?
Know it. Oh my god, I'm not even going to say because I know you know it. Everyone knows it.
Everyone knows it?
Everyone
Okay,
knows
we're
it.
going to
Link
see
it
how
out.
many people know this.
One more time, just in case.
We're going to see how many
Everyone
people know
knows,
this.
yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking
They
about.
do know it. I know
All
you
right.
know it. Someone's going to link it out.
All right.
Boston's Big Four, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening, for watching,
Thank
and
you.
for being a part of this.
No, honestly, though, I just wanted to say thanks.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys.
But on a different note, I just wanted to also say thank you.
Yeah. We ain't shit without you.
Something I feel like I would
So
be
make some
remiss.
noise for yourself.
I'd be remiss
Make some noise for yourself.
if I didn't.
If you're
say
watching
thank
or
you.
listening to this right now, clap right now for yourself. Make some noise.
Oh, yeah.
I'm loving just picturing people listening or what.
People are clapping, yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
can
just
hear them.
clapping. Like in their car, just at a red light, just clapping away.
We're on the
Appreciate
highway.
you.
We're on the highway.
If that's you, you're the person clapping. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right,
Boston's Big Four.
we're out.